Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Welcome everyone, I'm Whitney Ward. We are now just 3 hours away from the deadline to drop off your ballot for this special election. Too late though to mail it in, although you can still take your ballot to any drop-box location.
Our Amanda Rowley joins us live tonight from one of those drop boxes in Spokane Valley with an update on voter turnout. Amanda?
Yeah, good evening. We'll say it again, that deadline, 8 o'clock tonight. Now, throughout the day today, we've seen a steady flow of people dropping their ballots off here at this Spokane Valley location, but we've started to see that number pick up as a lot of people are now making their way home this evening. Now, new this year, this is the first spring election. Voters do not have to pay for postage for mailed-in ballots. Now, Spokane County Auditor Vicki Dalton says that she's expecting a ballot return rate of 35 to 40%. As of today, countywide, that rate is nearing 34%. Now, she says that expectation is pretty good for a spring election, and she believes that that spring election with the free postage is a pretty big factor potentially. Now, we can't say enough. Every vote counts, and make sure that you are meeting that deadline. Again, 8 o'clock. Head into any Dropbox ballot location. We can again have those locations also posted on KREM.com. Reporting in Spokane Valley, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
3 hours to go, Amanda. Thank you very much. Today, Washington Secretary of Health Umar Shah toured Spokane's mass vaccination site at the Spokane Arena.
Our own Regina On is live at the arena right now. And Regina, I know you were there all day with the Secretary. What were the main takeaways from his visit today?
Yeah, good evening, Mark, Whitney. So the big message that Secretary Shah had today while visiting the mass vaccination site was simply, we are not out of the woods just yet. In fact, he says that just last week, the state requested about 358,000 doses of the vaccine, and he says the state was allotted about 100 or so thousand, and that's according to Shah. And now this afternoon, I got to spend some time with him, asking him some questions as he toured the site for about an hour and a half. And here's what happened. Dr. Umar Shah began the tour by first thanking the Washington National Guard for all they are doing.
Well, thank you. Thank you for everything, guys. We appreciate you.
Secretary Shah says the biggest challenge the state is seeing at this time is vaccine supply. New this week, the federal government is providing supply information 3 weeks in advance. Before, it was only 2 days.
Right now, it's a zero-sum game because there's not enough supply to go around. So when you have supplies that you give into certain sectors or certain community providers, invariably you have less that are going to be going elsewhere. So again, while the administration at the federal level has given us this 2-3 weeks of information, we still haven't seen a significant increase in the numbers of vaccines coming in. That's going to be the main driver of how we're going to be able to get vaccines out to more providers.
Shah also discussed something new the state's now incorporating to hopefully streamline making appointments.
The VAC Center is really about public-private partnership, and so we've brought in private sector know-how and harnessing the power of private sector to help us with many of our operations that are going to really allow us to increase both our communication but also our throughput in many of these mass vaccination or other kinds of efforts throughout the communities in Washington.
And also we asked, when will the general public be vaccinated?
We're hopeful that we can by spring, early summer, be able to have vaccines for a larger population or all of our population.
For rural regions, Shah says he's hopeful of different vaccination options will make a difference, like the single-dose Johnson & Johnson shot.
If it's a community where you have to really go out 2-3 hours to get to and then vaccinate, you may want to be using that kind of vaccine in that kind of a setting because it's harder to go back for a second dose.
He says for smaller communities, it could be reaching out to local health departments, local pharmacies.
More precise with how do we get to communities that are disproportionately impacted or that in essence are not getting vaccinated or not able to get vaccinated or not feeling that they should get vaccinated, they're hesitating. So we want to do everything we can to focus our attention not just on everyone, but also being precise in certain communities.
Now up next for Secretary Shah is visiting the Tri-Cities area at their mass vaccination site at is it is his goal to visit smaller communities and their vaccination sites to see how they're doing there. In the meantime, the appointments here at the Spokane Arena have opened up, so if you would like to make an appointment, do so there. And now Governor Shaw did mention that he wanted a message to the community to not let your guard down, to keep the 3 W's, which is wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. For now, live here in Spokane, Regina on KREM 2 News.
Regina, thank you very much tonight. Also today, 4,000 new appointment slots are officially open at this hour for a vaccine at the Spokane Arena. That scheduling started just a few moments ago at 5 p.m. Appointment availability for this week is now on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and next Tuesday. The site is going to be closed this Sunday and Monday, but around 800 spots will be available each day. To sign up online, all you have to do is visit chaz.org. If you don't have internet access or you're having trouble signing up online, there's also a phone number to call for help. It is 509-444-8200. Chaz Health is asking that you first try to sign up online, then use the phone number if you continue to have trouble. Again, those appointments just opened up at 5 o'clock this evening. We are monitoring the website and we'll let you know how online registration is going and if and when those appointments do fill up.
Meantime, over in North Idaho, tomorrow the Panhandle Health District will be releasing 650 COVID-19 vaccine appointments. These will be available for their Kootenai, Shoshone, and Benewah County vaccine clinics. Appointments open tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. To register, go to panhandlehealthdistrict.org. These are not walk-in clinics. All vaccines are given by appointment only.
And new this week, Idaho has released a new tool so you can see how many vaccine doses are going out and exactly how they're being used. So there are 8 different regions in the state, and it shows that the Panhandle region has distributed 70% of the vaccine doses that it has received so far. That's more than 25,000 of more than 36,000 that have been received. In Idaho, they've got a total of 71% of vaccines that have been administered. That's as of February 7th, and it includes people who have had their first and second doses. To access this tool online, just visit KREM.com. We've got a link that'll take you right there.
All right, let's talk weather. It is time to bundle up. The coldest temperatures of the season heading our way. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry joining us tonight. Tom, I have to be honest, I'm not looking forward to this cold snap.
I don't think anyone is. The bright news is, or the good news, I guess, is that it will only be this week. By the time we get into next week, most of those bitter cold temperatures should be out of here. But in the meantime, we are going to deal with an Arctic blast. The temperatures will be in the teens and single digits, and then factor in wind chills on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Should see sub-zero feels-like temperatures, sub-zero wind chill temperatures. Right now we're at 24 degrees. You can see the wind is not a factor, though, out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Doppler radar showing quiet conditions across the region. Tonight down to 15, and then tomorrow we'll look for a daytime high of 28. Even though I'm expecting partly cloudy skies at times, I wouldn't rule out a snow flurry or two. Nothing in the way of accumulation, but just kind of to get your attention. As I look ahead to the weekend, still very, very cold. 8 degrees the overnight low Saturday morning, 13 on Sunday morning. Of course, Sunday is Valentine's Day with a high of only 27. If you have a special Valentine, might be a good day to snuggle up. I'll have the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
It's a great way to stay warm. Thanks very much, Tom. Well, as the temperatures continue to drop, the city of Spokane is working with homeless shelters to keep people warm and safe. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones explains now what's being done during the cold snap.
These next few days will provide some of the coldest temperatures Spokane has seen in years. Living under these conditions can be deadly, especially if you don't have a roof over your head.
There's more than 15 homeless shelters located in Spokane. By the time nightfall comes around, nearly every single one of those facilities will be filled to capacity.
These are temperatures that people freeze to death. They fall asleep and they don't wake up.
The city of Spokane is working with local shelters to make sure no bed goes unused. They've created a list of emergency shelters that people can turn to. City Church on Garland is among those housing as many individuals as they can.
This is the part of our job that creates trauma. It's turning away people all night long. We can't increase capacity here.
COVID restrictions make an already difficult situation even more complicated. Maintaining a healthy environment is still a top priority, and because of that, the city is flexing more space available throughout Spokane. That includes hotel and motel space for people that are high risk. Throughout the cold stretch, the Spokane Fire Department will also conduct welfare checks of any vulnerable people who don't find a place to shelter.
So we want to make sure that we're keeping people safe and healthy, creating those kinds of spaces for folks.
Shelters like the one at City Church will be handing out supplies like hand warmers and sleeping bags to help people. At other shelters, any entrance fees will be covered by the city over the coming days. For those without access to technology, city officials recommend visiting the nearest shelter. If there's no availability there, the shelter may be able to redirect individuals to another location.
Check every availability because it changes throughout the night.
From Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.